Hi, Sarah. I see you said, hey guys, so I'm saying hi back. I'm so glad you guys are here today. We are talking about emotional eating. And let me bring up let's see if I can do it. It's, let me go to this. Nope. Okay. I don't know. There we go. And then, is that good? Maybe I can shrink this a little bit. Yes.
Looks good here.
Okay. And then I can move this. My screen sharing is paused. Okay, are we good? Okay, so today we're talking about how to cope with emotional eating, which I think is a very important topic. And it's definitely something that I have experience with personally and, just dealing with friends and talking with others. Um, so have you ever had like a really stressful day and someone in your family may say, oh, well, here, you need a piece of chocolate, or here, you need a glass of wine, or this adult beverage, or you fill it in, whatever, fill in the blank, a piece of cake, a cookie, whatever, because they're trying to make you feel better, like trying to soothe you or thinking that that will make you feel better. And there have been times that I thought that would make me feel better. And I'm definitely guilty of doing it. But is that always the best option, the best coping mechanism? So that's what we're going to talk about today. And if they say, you need this and you need that. Need is a really strong word. Do you need that? Is that what you need? Is that going to help you with your problem? So it's usually triggered by, and I put emotional eating or drinking because those could be issues for some people. And we know that it's usually triggered by a major big event, but it could also be just daily stressors, like something that you're really stressed out about. And how does it affect you? It suppresses anger, it suppresses boredom, it may, you know, take the place of fear or sadness temporarily, and it can help soothe negative emotions. But we also know that those things are temporary because you're only masking the problem by going for, a sugary treat or whatever your thing may be, or a drink. So, emotional eating, it can be a common coping mechanism. And I think we would be surprised. I should have looked it up, like how many people deal with and are affected by this, but I would bet that it's a really high number. It can be just a temporary pick-me-up, make you feel good for just the moment. And you may be doing it, consciously or unconsciously. Like, you may be aware that you're doing it, or it just may come natural because I don't know, some people like growing up or whatever, oh, you have a bobo, you don't, oh, let's go get some ice cream. Like food was used as a reward, and that's how, it's wired in your brain. So you're wanting that, something to make you feel better, but it's not always the best option. So when it's not the best option, the downfall is it just creates a secondary problem to focus on rather than you dealing with and addressing the real issue at hand. It can also make us feel unpleasant, like shame and guilt when you catch up to what you're doing. So if you're doing it unconsciously and then you realize, oh my gosh, like, look what I've done. Like I've totally blown my day. I've, eaten this large piece of cake. I thought it was going to make me feel better, and it probably did at the time, But then all of that comes crashing down and you have another problem to deal with on top of the problem that you were dealing with to begin with. So you can end up feeling worse than you did before indulging. Soothing emotions with food is a substitute often used when we experience hard to navigate feelings. So when you're having difficulty navigating those feelings, you're reaching for that quick hit of, dopamine that you might get from, your favorite treat or food. And once it's happened, it's okay. Like if you do it, we've all probably done it. I know I have, but don't beat yourself up about it. I mean, just move on with the rest of your day. Like get back on track with your next meal and when the next meal. I think it was last week that we talked about this too, that like if you get off track for the day, don't uh don't think, oh well, my day is blown, so you're not seeing the slides.
No, we're
Okay.
still sitting on the first slide.
Oh, and I'm just moving right along through all these slides. And I thought, well, if something was wrong, Kim would tell me. All right, are you
I
to the
did.
recovery?
Yes, that's where
Are
we are
you
now.
okay? All right. So anyway, we talked about this last week about the once you've made a mistake or messed up in your day with your eating, don't use it as an excuse to continue down that path for the rest of the day. You're just compiling the problem. So just take it for what it is. Hey, I screwed up. It's okay. I'm going to get back on track with my next meal. And because you don't want this to turn into a snowball, you just want to get back on track and don't beat yourself up about it. And understand there's not anything wrong with you. This happens to all of us, and it's okay. But as part of the recovery from this, I would encourage you to, after you've had some time to think about it, just evaluate your feelings and think about what happened and what did you learn from the experience of it, because that's how you're going to grow and um, continue to grow and be able to be aware when it starts to happen. Oh, I've been down this path before and I don't want to handle it this way now. I want to do this instead. So I think that's a really important part of the process, is to, once you've had some time to get over it, think about it, really sit down and evaluate your feelings and think about what would you do differently next time, or what could you have done? And when I say don't beat yourself up about it, think of it as like you're talking to your best friend and your best friend did this. I guarantee you, you would not be as harsh and hard on him or her as you would be on yourself. So speak to yourself in the manner like you're talking to your best friend. And you could also talk to your coach about it, and or a healthcare professional if it truly is an issue. So you can evaluate the trigger, because this is a real problem for some people. And I like this a lot. It's an alternative choice. It's a mindfulness trick and it's called stop. So when you start to see this happening, just stop what you're doing, take a few deep breaths, and then without judgment, observe what is going on, like what is happening, how are you feeling, and then proceed with your next step of what you should do. So, maybe you should do something else that will support you feeling better. And I like to these alternative choices. So, music really is uplifting. And so that could be a really good tool to use. Turn on your favorite song. And I'll do that sometimes if even if I'm um, not, I could do it when I'm stressed, but if I'm procrastinating on doing things, because that can be a trigger for me, is boredom or trying to avoid a task that I think is hard or I don't want to do. I can find myself, mingling in the kitchen. But if you turn on your favorite song and turn it up, it just automatically picks up your mood, gets you in a good, mood, and you start moving to the beat or whatever. You can journal about what's going on, and that helps get it out. Like if you're writing it, it helps get it out. You can call a friend and talk to your friend about it. Move your body. So maybe you need to go for a walk outside in nature and take some deep breaths and hear the birds, just something to get your body moving. Or maybe you need to dance to that favorite song you have on. That could be a pick me up too. Or write down 3 things that you're grateful for. I love these alternate choices. They're very good choices as opposed to going for food. And you won't have that bad feeling. In the end, be kind to yourself and show yourself grace. Just like I said, like if you're talking to your friend, how would you speak to her or him? It can be difficult to navigate, so, show yourself grace. But it's also an opportunity to learn more about yourself. Like, why is this happening? What is going on? Evaluate the situation and what can I do about it? And it takes time. This will take time and becomes better with awareness and practice. So I think that becoming better with awareness and practice come from evaluating the situation. Like I said earlier, like to evaluate what's going on, how am I feeling, without judgment. And that was really fast. So does anybody have questions? And your question can be about anything. It doesn't have to be about, emotional eating. It can be about the program or something that you want to share that's, working for you, that you had a positive thing happen, or if you're struggling with something. Anybody? Here, I'll stop sharing this.
I find the music thing is a really big deal for me. That can absolutely change my mood in no time. If I don't feel like working out, I have a playlist that is a really good playlist that really lifts my mood. And it's the same thing with, for me growing up, food was always a reward if I had done well, or if something had gone wrong, then so this has definitely been a struggle for me because I raised both of the kids that way too. And
Right.
so I still find myself doing that.
Yes.
It's a good time. Let's go do this. And that's, we need to find those other avenues to celebrate and you know, it's habits that we have to learn to break, and it's hard.
Right. It's just navigating and learning a new path, learning something else to do. And I agree, like when you say, you raised your kids that way, because I mean, I'm not saying you did, but that is how we grew up. And so, like if something went wrong or something was bad, oh, well, here, let me give you this, and this will make you feel better. And it was all good, done with good intent. Like it wasn't,
Yes, good
but it
intentions, right?
was, yes, 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 I totally agree. And so now one of my things, I love the mindset trick, because it truly will make you stop and think, oh, well, what's going on here? And I will just take the dog out for a walk, and just enough to even just to walk around the block. And it does lift your spirits to get some sunshine on your skin and, you know, get your mind off of it and thinking something different. So
And
it does
and it
work
gets your
to
body out of the
divert.
kitchen.
Right, right.